Okay, my name is Ed Cup, and I have to apologize about the scenery with the cars and the trains and me trying to find a place where I can be alone. It's kind of difficult, where I can actually make a video where anybody can hear me. So that's the reason for the scenery. I'd like to talk about a series of dreams that I had about 2 years ago, because these dreams have impacted my life. And to me, they were more than just a dream. Because before the first dream, I had a problem that was scaring me to death. I thought I had cancer. And the pain was pretty unbearable. When I woke up from the first dream, the symptoms were gone. And it's been about 2 years and they haven't returned. So that's one thing that made it real. The second thing that made it real was after the first dream, a voice spoke to me. I was told by a very good friend, that's a preacher, to be careful about saying the Lord said this, Lord said that. And so out of respect, I'm going to try not to include his name. But he spoke to me, and that made it real. And then after the third dream, he spoke to me again. So I wanted to make a video and talk about my dream. So this video is going to be the first dream, and then I'll make another one of the second, and then another one of the third. So the first dream, like I said, about 2 years ago, I was 6 years old watching TV. That's how I felt. And I was watching a man walk through a jungle. That's what I thought I was seeing. And the one thing I noticed, the head of the man's head was covered the whole screen. All I could see was his head, and then the leaves passing by his head. And I was looking at the right side of his face, and the leaves were passing by. And he was walking across the screen. And what I noticed was the look on his face. He was just beaming. The expression on his face was, he was just glowing. I mean, if you happen to see someone with this look on their face, you'd have a hard time not smiling. I mean, this is a face that brighten up anybody's day. I don't care who you are. That's what I was noticing. And as he's walking and the leaves are passing by his head, he come to a point where there was no more leaves, and I noticed he leaned a little bit like he was trying to get a better look. And his face changed his expressions changed from just beaming to confusion, and then fear, and then terror. And then we heard someone say, "Lord, what is sin?" And his eyes started closing, and his head started going down, and I could tell he was falling on his knees. He was going through remorse. But before he hit his knees, I woke up. And when I woke up, I realized that the first thing I noticed was that a symptom that's been plaguing me and scaring me to death was gone. And I got up and I started heading across the hall, and a voice said, "Thou shalt have no graven image over me." And he kept repeating it. "Thou shalt have no graven image." It had nothing to do with the dream. "Thou shalt have no graven image over me." And he kept repeating it until I started saying it. "Thou shalt have no graven image over me." So I went downstairs and I asked my wife if it was in the Bible, and she didn't know. So we looked in the Bible, and we spent, I don't know, 5-10 minutes looking to see if we can find it in the Bible. And we couldn't find it. A few days later, I got home from work, and I'm thinking about it, and it's just, constantly. Still, I come home a few days later, and I start emptying out my pockets to take a shower, and I start putting my stuff in my nightstand. I open the nightstand, and this gold ring shuffled out from underneath some papers I had in the drawer. And the ring had 10 commandments on it. Um, my mother-in-law bought one for me and one for my wife, and I lost mine. And I told her about it, I don't know, a month before, so she put hers in my drawer. I picked it up and I looked at the first commandment, and it said, "Thou shalt have no other God before me." And then the second commandment was, "Thou shalt thou shalt not make unto thee any graven images." And what the voice said was, "Thou shalt have no graven image over me." So I'm thinking about it, and an image can be a picture, and I'm thinking a graven image can be a picture of someone deceased. So then I felt I understood the Lord's saying that we can't put money above Him. So I had that figured out. So I'm going to go ahead and cut it off here, and I'll start the next video. It'll be video number 2.